Are you active duty military like me and want to be able to travel the world for free? Okay. Or do you just want to be able to visit friends and family without having to break the bank on plane tickets and hotels? Do you want to learn how to earn over $2,000 in annual travel credits every year? I thought so. And I know what you're probably thinking. What is this going to cost me? And why is my head still nodding? There we go. Fixed it. Well, truthfully, it's not going to cost you anything. And if you watch the video, I'm going to show you how you can earn over $2,000 every year in annual travel credits, and how I'm en route due to a little special circumstance on how I'm en route to be able to earn over $5,000 in annual travel credits as long as I'm active duty. Sounds good? Cool. Since signing some years of my life away to the government, I've come to realize some pretty cool perks about being active duty. There are the obvious ones like discounted prices at certain restaurants and retailers, automatic TSA pre-check, early boarding, VA loans to minimize down payments needed for homes, and a bunch of education benefits. However, in my opinion, the most interesting one to me are the benefits we military members get thanks to the SCRA and MLA programs. Thanks to these programs, we military members are able to access premium credit cards without having the burden of the annual fees attached to them. Now, if you're already familiar about these programs, you may have heard of the American Express Platinum Card. Hell, you probably have it already. But what if I told you that's just the tip of the iceberg? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through all of the cards that are going to get me to that $5,000 mark and explain the benefits that I get from each of them. And so you can see truly how powerful the SCRA and MLA programs are. And after all of that, I'm going to break down all that I will have towards travel every year. And then I'll let you on to something about me that makes this thing a whole lot crazier. And finally, I want to take some time to go over how I feel about these fees being waived for military members, because after you see all the value and benefits that I'm going to be able to get, you may feel a little conflicted about this like I was. So before I get into the list, I must make a disclaimer. Keep in mind, these are all credit cards, and a lot of them. Therefore, this comes with a lot of financial responsibility. Me personally, I don't carry any balances on any of my cards, and I'm pretty good at managing my spending. This is supposed to be a benefit for military members. Please don't turn it into a burden by being financially irresponsible. Now, with that off my conscience, let's get to the cards. And I'm going to start with the cards that I currently have and then move towards the cards that I want and why. I'm not going to review each card, just the annual travel credits that I'll get from them. And I won't go over food credits for cards like the American Express Gold Card and now the Chase Sapphire Reserve, since those aren't travel credits. So first up, we have the American Express Platinum Card, which offers a $200 annual airline credit and $200 Uber credit. And I value this at about $150. And note that airline credit can't be used for airfare, but there are some workarounds and a possible video on that coming soon. Next up, and we have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which offers a very broad $300 annual travel credit, which can be used for all things travel related, from airfare, hotel stays, ride sharing programs like Lyft, and even parking garages. Obviously, I value this at the full $300. And next we have the American Express Gold Card, which offers a similar $100 airline travel credit. And I value this at about $50, since honestly, as military members, it's a little trickier using this, thankfully, because we don't have to pay for those baggage fees. So pretty much this really gets used on seat assignments. And that's pretty much how I get value out of that. And those are all the cards that I currently have that offer some annual travel credit. And now let's look at the cards that I plan on getting in the future. Before I'm free from the clutches of Chase 524, I'll be looking to get the World of Hyatt card, which offers an annual award night at one of their properties. Personally, I value this at about $150, since that's the most I'm willing to spend on a single hotel night. Also, I'll be looking to get the IHG Rewards Club Premier card, which offers another award night at one of their properties. And I value this at $150 as well, for the same reasons mentioned earlier. And not necessarily in this order, but I also plan to get the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card from Chase, which also gives an annual award night at one of their properties. And finally, with Chase, as far as travel credits go, I'll be looking to get the Southwest Rapid Rewards Priority card, which this card offers a $75 Southwest credit, which can be used towards airfare. This card also gives you or credits you with 7,500 Rapid Rewards points from Southwest annually. Now moving away from Chase, and I'll be looking to get the US Bank Altitude Reserve card, and this card gives you a $325 annual travel credit, which can be used for all things travel related except for gas. Next up, and we're looking at the City Prestige card, and this card gives you a $250 travel credit. Now the difference here is that this card is still every calendar year and not card member year. So essentially in the first year that I have this card, I'll actually get $500 in travel credits for free. Now moving on to American Express, they currently cap their credit cards to individual consumers at 5. And note, this is credit cards, not charge cards like the Platinum card and the Gold card that I mentioned earlier. So these are the 5 that I'm looking to get from American Express. And I'm actually going to start this off with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. Now this card gives you a $300 annual property Marriott, which can actually be used towards room rates. This card also gives you another annual award night at one of their properties. Now, unlike the Boundless card at Chase, you can actually select from higher tier properties through the Marriott portfolio. Next up, and we have the Hilton Aspire card, which gives me another free hotel night, albeit only on the weekends, but another free hotel night nonetheless. Now, this card also comes with an annual $250 airline credit and a $250 Hilton Resort credit. Now, you can use that credit towards room rates, but only at Hilton Resorts, which makes this a little tricky to use. Next up, and we have the Delta Reserve card from American Express. Now, this card comes with an annual companion pass, so basically a buy one get one free airline ticket. And with American Express, I'm looking to double up on the Hilton Aspire card and the Marriott Brilliant card. So that's going to give me another 2 free hotel nights and an additional $300 Marriott property credit. So that's all the cards. Now it's time to break this down. All right, so now it's time to look through the benefits of all the cards, and this includes the cards that I currently have and the cards that I want down the line. And you'll see that I've broken this down from travel credits to the free nights to the incidental credits, since those are all, I think, different categories, especially in the way that you can actually use them. Now, I just want to go through on how I got to the numbers that, led to this total, so that way it kind of demystifies it a little bit. So starting with the travel credit column. So of note, I did not include the Uber credit from the American Express Platinum card, since I feel that's a little situational, and I really just wanted to keep this as broad as possible. So didn't include that. And for the Southwest card, since you get the $75 every year with Southwest, and then you also get the 7,500 points, which is essentially another $75 to be used pretty much the exact same way. I'll just multiply $75 by 2, so that's how I got to the $150 mark. And also for the Delta Reserve, for that companion pass, I value that at about $200, since I think that's a reasonable amount to say you can save on on airfare. Now that can definitely be significantly higher depending on where you end up flying to use that pass, and it could be lower, but I think $200 is a fair valuation for that. And so for the free nights, there are 2 things that I kind of want to hit on here. So for the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card, you do get that $300 Marriott property credit, and as I stated earlier in the video, I value a free hotel night at $150, since that's usually the most I'm willing to pay, and that's just my value for it. So I take that $300 Marriott property credit, and I basically converted that into 2 free nights. So $300 divided by 2 is $150. So you get the annual award night, and then you get two free nights from that $300 property credit. And since I'll have 2 of these cards, that gives me 6 free nights from both of these cards. And so also for the valuation, again, that $150, I basically just multiply the number of free nights by $150. And so that is what went into that yearly total. And for the incidental credit, I did not just take the $800 and add that all up, with everything else. I really just kind of multiply that by half to be really conservative with, the valuation for those incidentals, because this is a military targeted video, and like me, we don't usually have to pay for checked bags. So I didn't want to just throw that full value into that. So only $400 from the $800 went into that yearly total, which came out to $3,275. And I know that's significantly higher than that $2,000 I was talking about at the beginning, but didn't want to come off as too aggressive and, clickbaity and whatnot. So, yeah. Nothing's, any military member can really achieve this as long as you have a good credit score and you are very financially disciplined. This is within your reach. Obviously, it's going to take some time because you also want to make sure you're hitting those sign-up bonuses, but it's definitely doable to anybody that wants to take advantage of this opportunity or these programs that we have. And I also did mention in the beginning of the video a $5,000 target that I was en route to, and something a little special about me that makes this crazy. So I am married, and my wife, my lovely wife, is also a active duty military member. So boom, and essentially that means we can double all those numbers that we just went over, and that takes us to a grand total of $6,550 in annual travel credits available to us. And to break this down, that's $2,450 in just very broad annual travel credits, and 22 free hotel nights, and $1,600 worth of airline incidental credits. And that is taking that full 800 and multiplying it by 2, since that's basically the amount of airline credits we'll have to work with from any given year, so it can change from year to year based on our situation. But that only 800, since multiplying 400 by 2, only 800 went into that grand total, just a note. So yeah, I know that's pretty crazy, but yeah, thanks, babe. So yeah, pretty crazy, right? And this is only accounting for travel credits. This doesn't even factor in the sign-up bonuses that we're going to get from these cards, that's really going to help us and aid us in keeping our costs down. But while I have your attention, I want to go over what I feel was, almost a guilt at the idea of us being able to get so much value from these credit card companies just for being in the military. And early on, I was a bit conflicted on whether I should just get 1 or 2 or 3 cards and just call it a win. But then I started thinking about me and my wife's situation and all other military members who truly make sacrifices for this country, and in some cases, the ultimate sacrifice. With my wife and I being dual military, we have to deal with a lot of unique challenges, especially now that we're raising our first child together. There's no grandmothers or other close family around because we're not in our hometowns to help us out when we need a break. For our trip to Japan, we had to get 2 round-trip tickets for my mother-in-law just to be able to pick up and drop off our son. We've been to countless weddings all across the country because our military family is just so spread out, and we had to come out of pocket for all those flights and hotels. Not to mention the biggest point of all, I'm in the military, and one day I could deploy and something could happen. And this is the reality for me, my wife, and really all military families. So after thinking about it this way, I no longer feel like I'm getting over on these credit card companies. And if you watch my video on how credit card companies make money, you'll see how they're still able to really churn a profit even when consumers are getting value. But what are your thoughts? Keep in mind, all of these credit cards have application rules and other nuances to be aware of. And also, even though this should be obvious, you do actually still need a good credit score to actually be approved for these cards. So if you're sitting somewhere below 680-ish, I would just continue to build my credit score before applying for most of these cards. And I just hope that military members can take advantage of these great benefits, because I think that we just truly deserve it. And from one service member to another, I just want to thank you for your service and sacrifice in service to our great country. But that's all I have for this video. If you're ready to start your travel hacking journey, consider using the links in the description below, as it really does help out the channel. And if you want to be sure to catch more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so you're notified the next time I upload. But remember, the one thing more valuable than your points is your money, and the one thing more valuable than your money is your time. But until next time, peace.